Hello, I'm Amy Sullivan with Aspire Zen, and tonight we are making a stuffed portobello mushroom. I think this dish is perfect for a holiday meal. I served it for Christmas 2 years ago. It's also fantastic if you're having guests over any time of the year, or if you just want to have a fancy looking but actually very easy to create meal on a weeknight with your family. One of the great things about this, it's meaty, it's hearty, it's delicious, it's great for you, and it's also meatless. This version is vegan, and we are using Beyond Beef to create that meaty sensation, plus pack a lot of protein in, as well as some quinoa that'll help create a stuffing type of sensation inside the mushroom, and it also gives some protein as well. We're flavoring it up with garlic, onions, fresh parsley, fresh thyme, both two great flavors that go well with mushrooms, a little vegan Parmesan cheese, and then a little heat from some crushed red pepper flakes. All right, to get started, we're gonna make the quinoa. So I've got 2 cups of some homemade veggie stock here. Just gonna pour that in to a nice little saucepan. I'm gonna cover it with a lid. I'm gonna put it on high heat and we're gonna bring it up to a boil. All right, my stock is up to a boil, so we're going to add the quinoa. I have 1 cup of quinoa here. First, I'm going to turn the heat down. I had it on high, I'm turning it to low. And then I'm just gonna dump my quinoa in. Cover it back on, and then we're just gonna let it simmer away for about 15 minutes, just until all the stock is absorbed and it's nice and fluffy. All right, my quinoa is going. I'm going to finish prepping my mushrooms. I have a baking pan here. I have 4 big portobello mushrooms, and I've scraped out the gills. Inside there's a gill and there's a stump. So you wanna remove the stump like so. And then you also want to take this brown part in here, the gill. It's totally edible. We're just scraping it out to create more of a little bowl shape, so we have more room for stuffing. And we're also going to use it, we're going to reserve it into this little bowl here and use it to create part of the stuffing. So you'll have bites of mushroom in the actual mushroom and bites of mushroom in the stuffing. So that's all you do, you scrape it out with a spoon, stick it in here. And I've got my oven preheated to 350. I'm going to use a tiny bit of olive oil and drizzle here. And then we're going to pop this into the oven and let these just get started. We're going to let them go for about 5 minutes so they just start to cook and soften. That means when we get the stuffing in them later and bake them again, we don't have to bake them for as long. So we are going to work on the rest of the stuffing. I've got a large skillet here over medium heat, and I'm going to start off with my Beyond Beef. I'm going to coat the bottom of the pan with a touch of olive oil, maybe half a tablespoon. Put this in. So we're just going to take a wooden spoon and break it up into crumbles. All right, my quinoa is pretty much done, so I just turned the heat off and now I'm letting it cool down. We're gonna start adding more flavor. So I've got 1 cup of diced onion, finely minced. It like instantly smells good in here when you do that. I've also got 2 cups of mushrooms. I just took I took 1 extra portobello, chopped it all up. You could also use cremini mushrooms. Those are baby portobellos. I also have 2 cloves of garlic, finely minced. And then we have our fresh herbs. This is 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme and about 3/4 of a cup fresh parsley. And we're gonna put it all in there. And then finally, I'm gonna do a nice hefty pinch of this red pepper flake, probably half a teaspoon. If you like it spicier, add a little more. If you're not so keen on the heat, add a little less or just omit it. All right, I think our portobello mushrooms are done with their pre-bake, so I'm going to take them out of the oven. And we have just a few more ingredients to add to finish our stuffing. We have a can of diced tomatoes. I buy the type that has no salt added because I watch my sodium and I want to know exactly how much salt I'm adding. So I'm gonna add a hefty pinch of salt on top of that. If you buy tomatoes that already have salt, you might wanna stir it in and give it a taste before you add the salt. I'm also gonna do some cracked black pepper all around the pan. And this right here is more of our veggie stock. I'm gonna add about half a cup 3/4 cup of veggie stock. So we're gonna use 1.5 cups quinoa. The final ingredient here I'm gonna add is this vegan Parmesan cheese. Again, if you aren't doing processed, you wanna keep it completely natural, sub this out for some nutritional yeast. This is about 1 cup. I'm gonna put most of it in and then save the rest for the topper. So, time to stuff our mushrooms. Now I'm using Portobello mushrooms for this recipe because this is meant to be an entree, 1 Portobello per person. This dish also makes a great first course or hors d'oeuvre if you use little cremini mushrooms. So the other amazing thing about this dish is you can make it ahead. So everything up into the point we're doing now can be done at least a day ahead. All right, mushrooms are stuffed. I'm going to do the final sprinkle of our reserve vegan parm. And the final step, we're gonna pop these back into our 350-degree oven and let them bake until they finish. Probably another 5-10 minutes. Woohoo! So excited. Everything is out of the oven. These look and smell amazing. It's meaty. There's the beef, the quinoa giving you all that protein, delicious fresh flavor from the garlic, the parsley, the thyme. This is a fantastic holiday meal, great for guests. And awesome if you just want to have a nice weeknight meal for yourself that feels special, but it's easy to prepare. And that's all there is to it. I'm Amy Sullivan with Aspire Zen. Thanks for cooking with me. See you next time.